All right, the gang's all here. How you doing? Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. I don't know, getting a little OCD about my camera, and I'll probably just like bump the computer, and it won't matter anyways. How y'all feeling? Greetings. Um, Hello, Gene. Thank you. I'm doing well. Lots of rain still where you are. Yeah, the those bugs are pretty crazy. I use that as a thumbnail just because I thought it was such a cool picture. Um, those are real bugs. Um, they're all walking sticks. Yeah, yeah, pretty cool. And they also look a little unreal. They look a little unreal. Hello, Rockfin people. How you doing? What's up, Rockfin people? Hello, hello. Uh, and we're live on Callin as well. So we'll take some calls later on if you are of the mind. So much to talk about today. Well, the reason why this video is titled "Welcome to the Simulation." I don't know if anybody has watched the show Westworld. It's a very interesting show about the rise of robots and AI. Um, but towards the end of the last season, one of the main characters said a few times, "I've run the simulation over and over, and it still ends the same with everyone going extinct." I was like, "Oh, that sounds a little frighteningly close to our actual situation." And I get, this show is definitely dark, on the dark side for sure. Um, and I know that can be a little depressing for people. I understand. If it's not your bag, if it's not your cup of tea, I get it. This is just what we talk about. It's kind of a dark show. But anyways, yeah. Um, and I guess it hit home when he said that. I've run the simulation many times, and it ends with us and going extinct. I was like, well, that's very appropriate considering how likely we are to go extinct, as opposed to actually do something, save ourselves, and do the right thing. Um, anyways, but what else did I want to talk about today? I just wanted to mention that I thought that was an interesting thing. And then there's also the idea that we actually do live in a simulation, right? There's been many as of late in the last, I guess, decade or more than a decade. There's been quite a few scientists and or studies that propose that we actually do live in a simulation. I mean, you can believe that or not. It's kind of like quantum physics or math. It's like, um, does it have any effect on your daily life or on reality? I don't know. It's all theoretical. It's all theoretical at that point. So it doesn't really matter whether you believe in it or not, or whether you actually, quantum physics and math are really interesting for sure. Very sure, very interesting. But again, a lot of it is just like ideas that might or might not have any bearing on anything that happens. So, um, whatever. I do actually believe in reality. I do believe in reality. I believe in, what I believe. The reason why I believe in reality is because other people mirror reality to us, right? And we all, reality can exist in your own mind, but also reality can be confirmed by senses, by other people experiencing the same things, animals and people and plants and everything responding to the same inputs, right? So it's like, oh, this is happening because look, these other creatures are responding in kind to a sound or a smell or a event. This is really happening, right? This is happening not just for me, but for everyone else. So it gets a little bit weirder when if you want to question reality or just say it's all contrived or whatever. I don't know. So you're questioning reality for everybody else too. I don't know. Now you could get into the whole, when you can have an effect on reality. Can people have an effect on reality? Sure they can. Of course they can. In incremental and in big ways, and right, short-term, long-term ways, we can have an effect on reality. I believe that. But I do believe that there is an actual reality, at least on this plane, this dimension, the place where we live, the place where we exist. There is a reality. It is a shared reality. We all share in this reality. And there's no, that's, I don't know how to, you can deny it if you want to, but have fun with that, right? Because if you deny reality, it actually can be quite painful. Deny reality at your own peril, right? Oh no, that doesn't exist. This cliff doesn't exist. Gravity doesn't exist, right? The law of cause and effect doesn't exist, right? You can deny that if you want to. Deny it if you want to, but you may do it at your own peril. Field and Stream says advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That's sure. There's some magical stuff happening for sure. I believe that. I'm as entranced by technology as anyone else. I mean, I find it fairly amazing that we can do the things that we can do. And though I like to think that I don't, I'm not. I am definitely very reliant on technology. It's on a kind of a scary level, which I have feelings about that. Poppy Davis, you need to be high for this convo. Nah, man. Nah. I'm high on oxygen. I'm high on sunlight and coffee. Well, I'm high on coffee. Maybe that's why I'm thinking about this. I don't know. I've got a lot of caffeine going. All right. Let's see. All right. What else did I want to talk about? Oh, well, and also interestingly, as a tie-in to reality, the reality thing. I was listening to a fellow alternative journalist that I like to listen to. But this journalist was saying that climate change is all in your mind, right? Like if you believe in climate change, well, all of a sudden it's going to feel hotter. I was like, okay, I get it. And actually, we had a long time viewer, Henry Holt. If anybody remembers Henry Holt, I miss Henry Holt. I don't know where he is. Henry, I hope you're okay. Um, but Henry would say, if you stopped, hanging out on the internet and looking at all these crazy things, things would seem less crazy. I was like, you got a point there, Henry. Uh, but things are only as real, that applies in reverse, right? Yes, things you pay attention to might seem more important, but things you don't pay attention to might seem less important than they need to be, right? So, case in point, I was listening to another alternative journalist that I like to listen to a lot, and they were talking about the Nord Stream pipeline. They were like, oh, yeah, if you notice, when the Nord Stream pipeline happened, none of the environmentalists said anything about it. And I was like, dude, every single one did. What are you talking about? So because this person doesn't pay attention to the climate and doesn't care, it's not a thing for this journalist to care about, because he wasn't paying attention, he didn't see any of the environmental. But then he was, use it as a talking point. Oh, well, you notice they didn't say anything. Well, of course they didn't say anything to you because you didn't listen. You weren't paying attention, bro. Okay. So, right. So maybe climate change seems bad if you're paying attention to it. And it is if you're paying attention to it. If you're not paying attention to it, they're just making it up. So you can choose your reality or choose the things that occupy your space and seem more, seem bigger in the picture, and some things seem farther away. Gene says, does this guy realize or accept that he will be dead one day? Well, I mean, I think we all know that. I don't know. Does he accept that we will all maybe go away from the same calamity? I don't think he believes that. But I am very interested in reality. That's kind of why I do the show, right? I like to talk about things as they relate to, data and evidence and observation. What things are real and what things are more real and what things are less real or less likely to be real. All right, let's talk about things. Let's talk about things. Ooh, there's some good things to talk about at the end of the show, but the end of the show won't be on YouTube, I can tell you that much. Sorry, grabbed a bunch of things before the show. Where are we? Grabbed a bunch of things before the show that are all non-YouTube friendly or less YouTube friendly. But we'll start with this. Extreme temperature anomaly scrambles North America's weather pattern. We're going to talk about that a lot today. The crazy weather patterns that are going on, that have been going on. This year is actually kind of a banner year, 2022. Kind of right. It's a little funny because kind of right as COVID goes away. Climate change makes a grand entrance. But we'll look at this. Well, quote from Poppy is, it's as amplified as a weather pattern as you'll ever see. I kind of doubt that. All good, though, because the jet stream will be bringing us back to reality afterwards. Good, because I miss reality. All right. Someday this will open up. Someday. I don't know why it's taking so long for these links to open. Nah. It seems a little bit hinky to me. That is super annoying, guys. Sorry. We'll have to go here, I guess. What the heck? This does not make any sense. What is going on? I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it won't open this link. This is from the Weather Network, so it's not like a really crazy... But it won't open in... It won't open in Chrome either. All right, well, I think we're going to have to let this one go. Anyways, the headline is Extreme Temperature Anomaly Scrambles North America's weather pattern. Southern regions in the United States will see temperatures dip by midweek, while parts of northern Canada will see temperatures in the teens. And there's lots of that going on. I don't know why I cannot open that link. Seems very weird. Seems very weird. We'll go down here. Okay, so we'll talk about what's been going on. Absolutely nuts, crazy weather going on in the Pacific Northwest for this time of year. It's absolutely crazy nuts. TCR sent me this. 87 degrees. This is in Washington, near Seattle. High was 88, and smoke. Also, some smoky fires. More on this. This is from the professor. If you're wondering just how out of range yesterday's high temperature of 88 was in Seattle, 88, almost real close to 90. I'm sorry, but at that point, well, you can see from this graph, it's beyond, oh, well, all this has happened. This happened before in 1903. Not so much. Broke the record by like 14 degrees or something like that. If you're wondering how out of range yesterday's high temperature of 88 Fahrenheit in Seattle was, I found some archived data from 2021 and added yesterday's high temperature to the plot. This is how, how much of a sigma event it was. Absolutely bonkers. It's funny. I also realized I've been listening to, I mostly listen to alternative type news. I don't hear anything about Mississippi. I haven't heard one thing this whole week about Mississippi, and there's no water in the Mississippi, and this could be a serious issue. Not a peep. Like, you guys, this is kind of a big story. Nothing? No? You guys are just going to leave out a whole thing about the Mississippi is so low that they can't ship stuff on the... Oh, okay. Right. Interesting. You'd think people want to talk about that. Incredible heat in Northwest USA. Today, October 16th, the airport station of Seattle-Tacoma in Washington reached an unbelievable 88 Fahrenheit. This is 14 Fahrenheit above the previous record heat for the second half of October. And again, 88 is a high, like that's a summertime, like, whoa, it's really warm today. Like that in the even in the summer, 88 in Seattle. I'm not going to say it's not like it never happens, but it's an event that's kind of like, hey, whoa, toasty, super toasty in the summer, not in mid-October. Yeah, it's that's crazy. And also, well, we're actually in LA. We're gonna get a we're getting a little mini wave in the next couple days. It's already warming up fairly quickly today, but in the next couple days, it's going to be close to 90 degrees. Again, less rare in Los Angeles, necessarily, but still, it's it's been moving into autumn. Like autumn is here, and then it was like, and then the forecast was like, not yet, not yet. I was about to light my furnace and everything. I was wearing sweaters and stuff, you know. And it was like, nope, 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 nope. Just hold on. It's gonna be 90 degrees for a couple days. Just chill out. Oh, this is the wrong link. Hold on. Extreme temperatures around the world. It's a historic day in France. Calendars say October 16, but 35 stations today had temperatures above 30 C. 32.6 C at Navarinx. Pretty sure that's not how you pronounce it. Is the highest temperature ever recorded in France in the second half of October. Record-breaking heat. That has been the entire year, record-breaking heat. Here's another, how about some more record-breaking heat? You want some more record-breaking heat? How about some more oh, it happens all the time. I think they said record-breaking. So, super hot in Europe, anomalously hot in Europe. Um, Again from Professor. Hold on, I'm gonna check up on the Rockfin people. How you doing, Rockfin people? Hello, hello. I actually saw somebody's complimenting on the mantis picture, or I don't know what they are, mantises or walking sticks. Anyways, I saw a mantis in my yard, which was like, I never see mantises here. Like, I don't actually ever remember seeing a mantis here. And I was out in the doing something in the yard, and there was a mantis. Like, hey, it's like, whoa. Where are we at? We are somewhere. Oh, we are here. Oh, this is Elliot Jacobson talking about the snow crab population. He says going from 8 billion to 1 billion in 3 years has a familiar ring to it. That's pretty dark, Professor. Snow crab population shrank from around 8 billion in 2018 to 1 billion in 2021. And in all those billion, where did they go? Nobody knows. Billions of snow crabs have disappeared from the waters around Alaska. Probably because it's getting really warm in the waters around Alaska, and snow is in the name, snow crabs. That might indicate that they like it cold. It's too warm for them liking it cold creatures. This is on CNN, so CNN reporting. Scientists say overfishing is not the cause. That is a funny headline. Just when you thought they were super hyping climate change, instead of saying climate change because of climate change, they said overfishing is not the reason. So what you're saying is we didn't fish them out of existence. So let's see what could you tell me any other reasons there could be? Just when you think that CNN is overhyping climate change, they absolutely go out of their way not to say the words climate change in the headline. I don't know. Which one is it? Are they overhyping it, or are they just not? Are they not talking about an obvious problem? That's funny. Officials cited overfishing as the rationale for canceling the seasons. And they had a knee slap on that. There were more removals from the population than there were inputs, explained one official. Anyways, they're relying on you to actually read this article to figure out what it is. Calling the Bering Sea crab population overfished, a technical definition that triggers conservation measures, says nothing about the cause of the collapse. We call it overfishing because of the size level, Michael Litzow, the Kodiak lab director at the NOAA Fisheries, told CNN, but it wasn't overfishing that caused the collapse. That much is clear. Litzow says human-caused climate change is a significant factor in the crab's alarming disappearance, or we'll just call it the factor. Snow crabs are a cold water species. Whoa, you don't say. And found overwhelmingly in areas where water temperatures are below 2 degrees. Yep. As oceans warm and sea ice disappears, the ocean around Alaska is becoming inhospitable for the species. Yep. So, leave it to CNN to leave the cause for their disappearance out of the headline. Well, it's not overfishing. What could it be? All right, let's keep going. Let's look. Oh, Denver actually. The link that Denver gave me yesterday. Very interesting link about the thermosphere. You guys know about the thermosphere, the collapse of the thermosphere? I didn't know about the collapse of the thermosphere. Has anybody heard about the collapse of the thermosphere? This is the first time I ever heard of it. But good on Denver. A puzzling collapse of Earth's upper atmosphere. Hold on, because this one's really creepy. NASA-funded researchers are monitoring a big event in our planet's atmosphere, high above Earth's surface where the atmosphere meets space. A rarefied layer of gas called the thermosphere recently collapsed and now is rebounding again. This is the biggest contraction of the thermosphere in at least 43 years, says John Emmert of the Naval Research Lab. So this article is from 2010, by the way. I just want to give you that bit of information. The collapse happened during the deep solar minimum of 2008-2009, a fact which comes as little surprise to researchers. The thermosphere always cools and contracts when solar activity is low. In this case, however, the magnitude of the collapse was 2 to 3 times greater than low solar activity could explain. This is the creepy part. Something is going on that we do not understand. Anyways, to be a little more brief around about this. So every time there's a solar minimum, the thermosphere contracts, and when it gets hotter, the sun gets hotter, it expands so that it can absorb the radiation, heat, and etc. Right? So okay. They talk about how do you know, and then they said, well, one of the other theories is carbon dioxide, CO2. When carbon dioxide gets into the thermosphere, it acts as a coolant, shedding heat via infrared radiation. It is widely known that CO2 levels have been increasing in Earth's atmosphere. Extra CO2 in the thermosphere could have magnified the cooling action of solar minimum. Magnified the cooling action. But the numbers don't quite add up. Even when we take CO2 into account using our best understanding of how it operates as a coolant, we cannot fully explain the thermosphere's collapse. According to Emmert and colleagues, low solar EUV accounts for about 30% of the collapse. Extra CO2 accounts for another 10%. That leaves as much as 60% unaccounted for. So what they're saying is they don't know why. They think that unidentified climatological tipping points, that other tipping points of the climate were involved in this collapse of the thermosphere. And they still don't know. That's scary. That's very scary. And we all know about the UV and all that stuff. Oh, that's interesting. Gene says, the thermosphere can expand upward so much that it actually touches Earth-orbiting satellites. Almost 40 Starlink satellites fell out of the sky earlier this year as a result of aerodynamic drag up there. And that's actually how they figured out how they monitor the thermosphere is through satellites. In the decay, the drag or the decay in their orbits tells you whether it's expanded or contracted. So, interesting. North-South says aluminum, boron, bleach, maybe. Yeah, they're very interesting. Okay, gonna take a break, check out the coffees. Any coffees today? No coffees yet today. A good way to support the channel is on buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews, or this little guy on the screen. Cash App is good too. Or you can tip me on Rockfin. I do not have any tips on Rockfin yet today. But we'll check them out later. Okay, let's see. Where are we? I'm gonna well, a few more. There are floods. There be floods. More floods. Pretty major floods and rain events going on. Heavy rainfall in Taiwan, as much as 300 millimeters in 3 hours. 821 millimeters in 48 hours fell in the country. So large rain events going on in Taiwan. Hold on, I put everything all over the place. Today I don't have everything organized very well. That's my fault. Heavy rains in Tasmania. The worst floods in 50 years. Several areas have already been evacuated. This is pretty wild. Flooding. That's happening. Thought I had another one. I think there's more flooding going on in Spain. Maybe I covered that yesterday. All right. YouTubers, thank you for hanging out today. I'm going to jump off YouTube and talk about some other things. You can listen to the rest of the show on Callin and or Rockfin. Yes, Fleur-Elis, Spain. Yes. Spain and Greece. Nigeria. Well, maybe, hold on. Maybe I won't jump off of YouTube yet. You guys got a reprieve. Let's see if we can cover a couple of political things on YouTube before we get into the absolutely not to be mentioned. This is funny. Here's some comedy about communism. It's called maybe comedy. No. No. All right. No, hold on. I think how Americans will say communism never works as if we didn't. I think how Americans will say communism never works as if we didn't spend billions of dollars and kill billions of people to make sure it wouldn't work. Remember the war in Vietnam? We're pretty anxious about it not working. Communism never works, because whenever people control the means of production, their democratically elected leaders mysteriously die. The small rebel group always finds automatic weapons. And look, they're hitting themselves. Why are you destabilizing yourself? Why are you destabilizing yourself? I think how Americans will say communism never works as if we didn't spend billions of dollars and kill billions of people to make sure it wouldn't work. That's pretty perfect. You know how bad communism is. It never works, right? Even you know, or you can say the same about socialism, right? Socialism, it doesn't work. It actually was working pretty cool until the corporations undermined the so, you know, the programs and the entities that made socialist programs work. You stop funding the socialist programs, they're going to stop working. What else can we do? Massive protests on the streets of Paris over the rising cost of living. Very massive protests. Don't necessarily need the sound for this. You can see that is a lot of people. In Boston, they are arresting striking workers at a Cisco plant. This is getting a lot of coverage today, but people are like, police in Boston are arresting striking workers at Cisco, the world's largest food distributor. Local outlet WCVB reports a massive law enforcement presence and multiple people being loaded into the back of a police van. Sorry, I'm trying to get the sound to work. We are so anti-union in this country now. You know, perfect example of like why, you know, socialism or socialist type structures, unions. Yeah, unions are bad. Well, yeah. Well, if you break them up, or corrupt them, or make them so weak that they can't actually do the things they're supposed to do for workers, well then, I don't know. Police unions seem to work pretty well. Um, Screen Actors Guild seems to work pretty well. Those unions work really good. Professional sports unions, fantastic. But unions for like regular old people, you know, for other, you know, more production oriented type things, yeah, they try to knock those down as quickly as they can. Anyways, we'll, you know, cover that as it happens. Breaking news as it happens. All right, I think now. Well, there's also the United States is sending armored vehicles to Haiti to help quell an uprising there. We just can't seem to keep our fingers out of the pies of everybody else's business. Wow, the U.S. is really sending armored vehicles to Haiti to help quash the exact sort of uprising it's been supporting in places like Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, and Hong Kong. Says Caitlin Johnson. And it's a true story. There's U.S. and Canada sending armored vehicles to Haiti. They're sending them to help police fight a powerful gang of, you know, people that live there amid a pending request from the Haitian government for immediate deployment of foreign troops. So why are they going to call? They're going to call, you know, the masses, right, a powerful gang. Got to make them like, you know, build them into the specter of a boogeyman. You know, a gang, a bad gang of people. You mean just regular people that are upset? Call them a gang. The equipment will assist Haiti's national police in their fight against criminal actors who are fomenting violence and disrupting the flow of critically needed humanitarian assistance, hindering efforts to halt the spread of cholera. Interesting. The equipment arrived more than a month after one of Haiti's most powerful gangs surrounded a fuel terminal and demanded the resignation of a powerful gang? I think these are just people that are protesting. Surrounded a fuel terminal and demanded the resignation of Prime Minister Ariel Henry. Demonstrators, which they are, I don't know if they're a powerful gang, I think they're demonstrators, also have blocked roads in major cities to protest the sharp rise in fuel prices. But make sure you demonize the protesters as a powerful gang. Wow, that's all I can say. Wow. You can follow me on Twitter at BlackBearNews1. Number 1. Okay. I thought I had a few more things that were. Oh, I do have. Okay, I'm going to jump off YouTube now, guys. I'm going to continue the rest of the show on Rokfin. We got about 10 more minutes. Maybe 15, maybe 15. So I'll see you all on Rokfin. Peace out.